Donald Trump's own chief of staff has officially turned on him and is exposing every single dark secret on live television right now. What I am about to reveal to you is a level of high-stakes exposure that the Republican Party has been trying to bury for years. The man who stood by his side, the man who saw the inner workings of the Oval Office, has finally reached his breaking point and is telling the American people the truth that Donald Trump is terrified for you to hear. This is not just a political disagreement. This is a full-blown emergency for the MAGA movement because the house of cards is falling down in real time. I am here to tell you that the evidence of Donald Trump's instability and his threat to our Constitution is no longer just a warning. It is a documented fact coming from his own hand-picked leadership. 1 minute ago, the airwaves were flooded with the testimony of a man who served at the highest level of the Trump administration. And what he is saying should send shivers down the spine of every single American citizen. He is exposing the fact that Donald Trump does not care about you. He does not care about the law. He only cares about absolute power and the ability to use the United States government as his own personal plaything. Stay with me because I am about to go through the specific chilling details of what was said on live television that has the Trump campaign in a total state of panic. To understand the gravity of this situation, you must realize who this person is. This is not some deep state actor. This is not a member of the Democratic Party. This is the person who was responsible for the day-to-day operations of the White House. And he is telling the world that Donald Trump is a person who admires dictators. He is exposing that Donald Trump expressed a desire to have generals like the ones who served under Adolf Hitler. Can you even imagine that? We are talking about the commander-in-chief of the United States military wishing for the kind of blind, murderous loyalty that we fought a world war to defeat. This is not a drill. This is the testimony of the man who was in the room when it happened. And he is saying it now because he knows that the danger to our country has never been more real. Do not go anywhere because the revelations get even more disturbing as we look at the timeline of this exposure. The Chief of Staff is confirming what we have suspected all along, that there are no guardrails left. In the first term, there were people who would say no to the most dangerous impulses of Donald Trump. But this exposure proves that in a second term, those people will be gone. They will be replaced by loyalists who will not hesitate to violate the rights of American citizens. This is why this live television exposure is so critical. It is a siren song for the nation. It is a final warning from the inside. Donald Trump is currently lashing out on social media, trying to discredit his own former top advisor. But the American people are not as foolish as he thinks they are. We can see the truth when it is staring us in the face. What most people do not realize is that this exposure is linked to a much larger web of corruption and surveillance that the Trump team is trying to build. When you hear about the $31 million mansions and the $4.7 million in foreign wire transfers involving people like Pam Bondi, you have to ask yourself, why do they want this power so badly? They want it so they can protect themselves. They want it so they can turn the Department of Justice into a weapon to shield their own financial crimes while targeting anyone who stands for the truth. The Chief of Staff is exposing the fact that Donald Trump viewed the presidency not as a service, but as a shield. He wanted to use the power of the federal government to stop investigations into his own conduct. This is a total betrayal of the oath of office. Pay very close attention to this next part because it involves your personal freedom. The exposure on live television revealed that Donald Trump has a plan to use the military against domestic political opponents. The Chief of Staff is confirming that Trump referred to American citizens as the enemy from within. Think about the significance of that phrase. He is not talking about foreign terrorists. He is not talking about external threats. He is talking about you. He is talking about your neighbors. He is talking about anyone who does not bow down to his agenda. This is the language of a tyrant. This is the language of someone who is ready to discard the Bill of Rights to satisfy his own ego. And now the person who is supposed to execute those orders is telling you that the threat is imminent. I have spent my entire career fighting for the people, and I have never seen a situation where the top advisors of a candidate are the ones telling the public that the candidate is unfit for office. It is unprecedented. It is shocking, and it is the most important story in the world right now. The Republican leadership is trying to stay silent. They are trying to pretend that this live television exposure did not happen, but we will not let them. We will repeat these facts over and over again until every single voter knows that the people who know Donald Trump best are the ones who are most afraid of him. Is that not the ultimate red flag? If the people who worked with him every day for years are saying he is a fascist and a threat to democracy, why would anyone else disagree? Wait until you hear what he said about the classified documents and the national security of our nation. The Chief of Staff is exposing that Donald Trump had a total disregard for the safety of our intelligence officers. He treated our nation's most sensitive secrets like they were his own personal trophies. This exposure confirms that he was willing to put lives at risk just to brag to his friends at his golf clubs. This is not just careless behavior. This is a disqualifying lack of character. And as I speak to you right now, the Trump legal team is scrambling to find a way to stop more of these former advisors from coming forward. But the floodgates are open. The truth is pouring out, and there is no way for them to plug the leak. We are seeing a pattern of behavior that is truly terrifying. From the foreign wire transfers to the admiration for dictators, everything points to a man who wants to dismantle the American experiment. He wants a government where the leader is above the law. But we know that in America, no one is above the law, not even a former president, especially not a former president who is being exposed by his own inner circle as a danger to the republic. The significance of the passage of time is that it has allowed the truth to finally catch up with him. He can no longer hide behind his rallies and his scripted speeches. The people who were actually in the room are now the ones holding the microphone. Let us talk about the financial implications of this corruption. While the Chief of Staff is exposing the personality flaws and the dictatorial tendencies, we must also look at the money. The $31 million mansion of Pam Bondi is just one example of the MAGA elite enriching themselves. They are not the forgotten man and woman. They are the new oligarchs. They are the ones who want to use the government to ensure that their wealth and their power are never questioned. They want to use surveillance technology to track their enemies while they hide their own $4.7 million wire transfers in offshore accounts. This is the swamp in its final, most toxic form. You have to ask yourself, why is this happening 1 minute ago? Why now? It is because the conscience of these former advisors can no longer bear the weight of the secrets they are carrying. They see the direction that Donald Trump wants to take this country, and they know that they cannot be silent any longer. They are choosing their country over their party. They are choosing the Constitution over a man who has shown nothing but contempt for it. This is a moment of moral clarity for the United States. We are being shown exactly what is at stake. I want you to imagine the Department of Justice under the control of someone like Pam Bondi, who is herself being investigated for her ties to foreign money. Imagine an FBI that is directed by a president who thinks of himself as a king. That is the future that Donald Trump is planning. But thanks to this live television exposure, we have the chance to stop it. We have the chance to say no to the chaos. We have the chance to say no to the corruption. We are the ones who hold the power in this democracy, and we will not let it be taken away by a group of people who are more interested in their own bank accounts than in the well-being of the American people. Donald Trump is currently terrified. He is terrified because he knows that he cannot control the narrative anymore. He is terrified because he knows that the American people are waking up to the reality of his Project 2025 and his plans for a centralized authoritarian government. He wants to replace civil servants with political hacks. He wants to end the independence of the Department of Justice. He wants to give himself the power to pardon his own crimes. And now, his own Chief of Staff is telling the world that this is not a conspiracy theory, it is the actual plan. The Republican Party has a choice to make. Will they continue to stand by a man who is being exposed as a fascist by his own staff? Will they continue to defend the $31 million mansions and the foreign money? Or will they finally remember their oath to the Constitution? So far, the silence from the Republican leadership has been deafening. They are more afraid of a Trump tweet than they are of the destruction of our democracy. But we are not afraid. We are the ones who will stand up for the truth. We are the ones who will protect the rule of law. Do not let them distract you with their lies and their misinformation. Keep your eyes on the facts. Keep your eyes on the testimony. When someone tells you who they are, believe them the first time. And when the people who work with Donald Trump tell you who he is, you had better listen very carefully. They are telling us that he is a threat to the very existence of our country. They are telling us that he is a man who would throw away our freedoms in a heartbeat if it meant he could stay in power. The significance of this live television exposure cannot be overstated. It is a game changer. It is the smoking gun. It is the ultimate proof that the Trump administration was a criminal enterprise from the very beginning. And now that the Chief of Staff has turned, there is no going back. The truth is out, and it is going to set us free from the lies of the MAGA movement. We are moving forward. We are building a future of progress and integrity. We are leaving the corruption of the $31 million mansions in the past. I want you to share this message with everyone you know. I want you to make sure that everyone understands the gravity of what was just exposed. We cannot afford to be complacent. We cannot afford to sit on the sidelines. The future of our children and our grandchildren depends on what we do right now. We must stand together against the threat of authoritarianism. We must stand together for the principles that make America great. And those principles do not include admiring Adolf Hitler's generals or taking $4.7 million in foreign wire transfers. We are better than this. Our country is better than this. We are a nation of hardworking people who believe in honesty and decency. We are a nation that respects the military and the veterans who have sacrificed everything for our freedom. To hear that Donald Trump disparaged our fallen heroes while admiring the generals of a dictator is a slap in the face to every person who has ever worn the uniform of the United States. We will not forget, we will not forgive, and we will hold him accountable at the ballot box. The clock is ticking for the Trump campaign. They are running out of excuses. They are running out of time. Every day brings a new revelation. Every day brings a new exposure. And every day the American people get stronger and more determined to move in a different direction. We are the ones who will decide the future. We are the ones who will write the next chapter of the American story, and it will be a chapter of hope, of unity, and of justice. Stay with me as we continue to monitor this breaking news. I will be here to provide you with the updates that the other side wants to hide. I will be here to make sure that the truth is always at the forefront of the conversation. We are not going to let them win. We are going to protect our democracy. We are going to protect our freedoms. And we are going to do it together. The Chief of Staff's exposure on live television is just the beginning. There are more people who are ready to speak out. There are more documents that are ready to be released. The truth is an unstoppable force, and it is heading straight for Donald Trump. He can try to run, and he can try to hide, but he cannot escape the consequences of his own actions. The $31 million mansion will not save him. The foreign money will not save him. Only the truth can save our nation. And we are going to make sure that the truth prevails. Remember, the exposure of Donald Trump by his own chief of staff is the final piece of the puzzle. It shows us the man behind the curtain, and he is a man who is small, fearful, and dangerous. But we are not afraid. We are a nation of courage. We are a nation of strength, and we are going to win this battle for the soul of our country. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and always remember that the truth is on our side. The house of cards is falling, and we are ready to build something better in its place. The era of Trump is coming to an end, and a new day is dawning for America. Let us embrace it with open arms and with the determination to never let this kind of corruption happen ever again.